What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. You know who this is. It's the dad bod god, the bald, the beard, and the beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight, my guest is returning. We got, you may know him as Video Boy Jax, Party Boy Jax Jordan. Regardless, we got Jax Jordan in the house, and I'm excited to have him on. Last time we had him on the podcast, it was a great conversation. Every time I get to talk with Jax, most of the time it shows he's a busy guy running around, but I'm super excited to have him on the show tonight. But before we go any further, I need to take a quick second to tell you about Sleefs. Sleefs.com, that's Sleefs. Sleefs is your one-stop shop for all your athletic wear and gear. They've got armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, headbands, boots, mouth guards, and they've got those dirty boxes you'll always hear me raving about. So go and check him out at sleefs.com. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase, baby. Also, wherever you are finding us, I appreciate it. I really do. If you're tuning in on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment, send to your best friend, send to your mum, your uncle, send it to everyone. Also, if you're listening on a podcast platform, please give us a 5-star review. It helps with our analytics. It helps us bring more amazing conversations to more amazing fucking people like yourselves. So get to clicking, start tapping in to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. It is absolutely free every single week with multiple episodes dropping. So do yourself a favor, subscribe, like, share, all that good shit. But without further ado, let's get in to my conversation with the one and only Jax fucking Jordan. Boom! Live on a Tuesday night. Jax Jordan in the house. What's going on, bro? Thank you for stopping by.
Hey, dude. Just kicking back. Just chilling out, having a good time, chatting with my good friend Piers. What a great time.
That's it, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man. I know you're a busy dude, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, man. It's great to have you on. Good to see you.
No worries, dude. Thanks for having me, dude. I'm really excited. I like the intro there. I realized how wonderful your beard is and how it's like...
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I always look at other people's beards and like I get beard envy. Is that even a thing? Like I look at mine and go, look at this shit beard.
Mine like needs some deforestation. Like, oh man, mine's gone wild.
You look like you've just like come off camping or some like out doing some wilderness shit.
Oh, I got a nice tan. I haven't been in the sun that much. I don't know what's happened there.
Just delicate skin, bro. But dude, like last year, 2022, what an eventful year for you guys, man. Like non-stop, some amazing things happening with 2023 looking to be just as exciting, right?
Absolutely, dude. Like last year was like, it's crazy. It was whack at times, but then other times it was so rewarding and so awesome. And we got to end it pretty coolly. The roundhouse pretty close to the end of the year, so that was a really cool way to end it. But yeah, now it's like back to work and ready to get it again and see what happens this year.
That's it, man. You actually went like traveling last year as well, right? Like you were overseas for a couple of months, I think, right?
A while, yeah. I went to America early in the year. I got my passport in like January for the first time in my life.
And then you just like, I got to travel.
And then like, I actually think I got it in February. And I booked my Mania trip. I was like, if it arrives in the time, I'm going. If it doesn't, I'm not. And it arrived in a week, so I'm as an omen. See you later.
Wow.
And I was out of here. Yeah, that's how my...
Was that the first time you going to the States?
Yeah, first time like leaving the country. I've never had a passport, so
Really?
Like,
How'd you find
yeah,
it? How'd you find like being on the plane and stuff like that for a long time? Because it's
the
like
plane
what,
was
10,
it was like
flight?
14 hours, I think, or something like that. Um,
Mm.
it was a plane. It was rough, but I got over that. But like, I loved America. My whole life, I've kind of like loved the idea of America because obviously, like
Mm.
wrestling and all that kind of stuff, it's obviously all over there. So all that culture sort of was in my face my whole life growing up. So I kind of like fell in love with the culture, and then being over there, I loved it. I love the
Mm.
chaos of America.
Where'd you go when you were over there?
I went a bunch of places. We started off in LA for a couple of days. I
Nice.
lost the LA lottery because apparently it rains like 3 days in LA all year, and I was there 3 days and it rained for 3 days.
No
So
shit.
tick that off. Great
That's awesome.
times.
Yeah,
Then we went to Dallas, obviously for WrestleMania week. I got to
that's
shoot
cool.
the collective, and then obviously go to Mania, stuff like that.
How was the collective?
Collective was an insanely wild atmosphere. The atmosphere is awesome. Just the idea of having wrestling for like 3 days straight. Like I shot like 9 shows. I took photos in 9 shows that weekend, like in like 2 days. It
That's
was
insane.
insane. Um, but it was just awesome. Like so much wrestling, so many wrestling fans in one place. Wrestling happening like all the time for 3 days was really really cool. And also
Mm.
like had a really diverse like selection of wrestling. There was a World on Lucha show, which is probably my favorite. It was awesome. Then there was like a deathmatch show. Then there was just like all time spring break, yeah, all this kind of stuff, and they all just had their own sort of personality. So it was a lot of cool different stuff. And then Bloodsport. Bloodsport was
That's sick.
awesome. Bloodsport was sick. Like,
Bloodsport. How was Bloodsport live? That would be
man,
because I've seen a few of them. They're sick.
dude, it's like if you ever get a chance to go to a Bloodsport live, go to Bloodsport live. Like they're awesome to watch. Like, but being there live is you can't beat it. It was a crazy experience to be at Bloodsport live.
How did you find like being behind the camera taking shots at shows? Because like normally, like at wrestling shows, you're running around like a blue ass fly, like with a head chopped off, trying to get shit done. How was it to actually be like? Was it more of a relaxed setting for you? Being in, just like taking shots. Like, how was it the difference
Yeah,
being on like a being in a high pressure situation like PWA
yeah,
compared to like going and being something? Not saying a photographer isn't an important role, it is, but
yeah.
like
No, of course.
you
Yeah,
know
no,
what I mean? Like
yeah, I know
less
what you
pressure
mean.
than what you used to. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. No, it is a ton of less pressure, and it's like it's kind of like I'm doing it for me. Like I'm like expressing getting my best work and like trying to get my best stuff. Obviously, I am doing it for the wrestlers and for the companies that I'm shooting for. Like I want them to get what they can out of my photos. So that's awesome. I want
Mm.
pro wrestling. But like it's just fun. And I'm able to creatively get it. And I think like when like some photographers come in and if they're not too sort of like pro-versed in what wrestling is, it's sort of a bit tough. You know, I wrestled a bit, yada yada, so I can kind of like sometimes see like what's coming before it comes. Like I can kind of, you know, if someone's going for a
Yeah,
dive,
because you've got that worker mindset, right?
yeah, I know a dive's coming, you know, or I know this coming, or I know this is coming, and I sort of like can kind of predict what's coming before it comes. So that kind of helps me when I film and take photos. But that was just a cool experience. Like, I was able to like talk to the promoter and Giancarlo, who's their like video guy,
Mm.
or did all their content stuff like that. And that was really cool to build those relationships, and then just hanging out with those people. I was like around when they were shooting like a John Moxley promo and stuff like that, so it was just like cool to network and be just around stuff, see how everyone else does it.
How do you find like the differences between like filming show, like seeing how they film and stuff like that? Was there much difference between what you guys do at PWA and what those guys do?
Not really. I think the biggest difference is just they do it like there's GoPro Wrestling over there, I think it's called, and they have like their production company and they live stream a lot of shows. So essentially, they're turning like it's probably their job. I'd say it's their job, and they just
Yeah.
every weekend they're just doing shows. So you definitely see they have more of like a flowy kind of, you know, they know what they're doing. They're getting it done, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And obviously at the collective when they're shooting and filming and like live streaming
That's insane.
13 shows in a weekend. I can't fathom that. I do one and I'm bedridden for a week. So it's pretty crazy. So it's all pretty go, but I loved it. And like the crazy thing is, like wrestling is like the universal language worldwide of wrestling, where you can go anywhere and like know people and like talk to people, engage, and like just being in the wrestling industry kind of has that thing. While I was in LA, I was able to catch a show, Pandemonium Pro, which is a bit more like the collective. It's obviously because so many shows and it's the WrestleMania weekend. It is so go. Like there's
100%.
everything's happening. Every independent wrestler ever is there.
He's working.
Bro, everyone's trying to like get their piece. So it's just so crazy, and you're not like there's not really much time to sit and process or talk or sort of mingle, network, stuff like that. So you just have to sit on your game. Whereas I went to Pandemonium Pro in LA, and that was sort of like they just had a show, and I was able to like meet people and make some cool connections, and that was where I sort of first understood the universal language of wrestling is like worldwide, and the community that wrestling brings, all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool thing. You can go anywhere.
And that's the thing. I feel like wrestling is kind of like and I've always said this, is a lot like the music industry, right? Because it's just like the majority of wrestlers are like musicians, just cool, creative motherfucking people that can just, you know what I mean? This is what they're doing to convey their performance out to you, whether it be music, wrestling, whatever. But it's like the whole lifestyle and the whole sort of like culture sort of style of wrestling and music just sort of blends together.
It's
so
almost
well.
identical. Like it really is, man. Like I had an old boss at an old job that was a musician, and it was just every time we'd say, "Oh, where are you going this weekend?" He'd be, "Oh, I'm in Wollongong," and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm in Canberra," and it's like this crazy, like, it's always like, we're all traveling, and we know it, we get it. We're all gonna get $50 maybe, but it's gonna be a really fun time. We get to have fun.
But it's all about the enjoyment of the night, though, right? Like that's
Dude,
exactly why we do.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really cool.
But like, as far as like, you know, the whole US experience, like you said, you going back, you traveling again in February. Are you going back to the States in Feb?
I don't know. No, I'm probably. I might go to Mania.
It's like February in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I meant March. I might go to. I'm a very spontaneous person, Piers. Like
I know.
I'll just pick something up, and in 2 weeks I'll be somewhere. So I think I'm going to. I think Monomania. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't booked anything yet, but you'll probably see.
I would laugh that if like every time around Mania, it's like, yeah, I may go to Mania or I may not, and then every year you just go to Mania on a whim. And that to me would be like,
obviously I am.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, cool, man.
But I fell in love with New York.
New York, you know what?
Yeah,
my wife is dying to take me there, bro. Like she honestly, like, has been there a bunch of times. She's like, we have to go to New York. We have to go to New York, and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be my kind of scene, really. Like, she's like, no, you'll love it. It's awesome.
It seems like you're either an LA person or a New York person. And I feel like when it rained in LA, the world was choosing me to be a New York person. But boy, I loved New York. It was just like chaos. I love chaos. So it was just chaos everywhere, things happening all the time. So I definitely want to go back there.
See, I'm the opposite of that. I like chill. I like nice, chilled, relax. But did you end up going to Madison Square Garden when you were there?
I went past it. Like I drove past and like pointed. I was like, cool. I think there was like NHL games, something like that. It just sort of didn't fit in our timeline of things. I think because we were in New York on like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it was kind of like a weird time. We went past it though, and I was like, that's cool. We went to all the touristy places. We did one of those on and off buses and the touristy places. But I like so keen to go to there was actually a Madison Square Garden show. They did a SmackDown.
Really?
Like maybe not Madison Square. Maybe it was another New York venue.
Because Madison Square Garden has like, from what I think is like, there's two venues. Like they've got the big Madison Square Garden and then like an off. I don't know. Like
I don't know.
I might be talking out my ass.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. But like I'm just thinking memory. Someone told me that.
Yeah, well, but I just know whenever you go there, they always have that like single one panel entranceway.
Yeah,
which is always a really cool, unique thing they do.
But like, as far as like, you know, traveling and doing stuff like that now, are you still wanting to sort of get back into? Could we see you getting back into the ring and doing some wrestling on certain shows as well, like while you're traveling?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah,
probably not, man. I'm too tired. I'm too gassed.
Too old for this shit.
Man, it's a lot. It's kind of like the reason I quit was like the 50-50 thing of like put 50 into wrestling, put 50% into this. And I didn't sort of want to. Is it like? Oh, I missed all the comments. Sorry. Yeah, I just kind of didn't want to do put 50-50 in, so I'm going 100% into video stuff. Maybe never say never. There's an itch there. I'm really happy that I have like the community I have, and like I have the Pro Wrestling Academy that like when I get my little itch, I can go there and do a bit of cardio with them, and they're really accommodating for that, and so it's really cool.
How did your cardio hold up after not wrestling for so long now? Like when you go down and train, is it like have you kept in shape in that time, like cardio wise, exercise wise?
No, I lost all my shape pretty much as soon as I left wrestling. But I go back down and I do a bit of cardio. But recently I've been trying to fix that, get back into the gym, get back into sort of getting happier, doing stuff like that. I got some great friends around me that push me and get me to where I kind of want to be. So lately I've been doing pretty hard on that stuff. I did the tryout with everyone last week. That was fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just jumped in and started and did. Oh, I did a little bit of it. I'll admit.
I did a little bit of it. I did a burpee, Piers. I did a burpee. I showed him how it's done.
I did enough with them to show them that let's go. Let's get some heart. Let's go. Yeah. Knock them in the line. But no, I've given it a go. Going to the gym as much as I can, doing all that kind of stuff because definitely like healthy mind, healthy life. It's super
you know
hard.
what? Like I always used to say when people go, I don't have the time to train. I'd always say, look, people either make time or excuses to train.
Yeah.
And then I became a parent, and then I'm like, well, I'm about to make a ton of excuses. So, well, at least 3 of them. So.
Yeah, I guess being bigger and stuff like that, it's like it's not for me. I know it's like when I was younger, I lost a lot of weight. So when I was like 16, 17, I was actually like 100 kilos. And then when I started wrestling, I lost like 30 kilos and I got down to 70.
That's a massive drop.
Now I'm back up there. So I got to get back.
Hey, man. But you're what, 24, 25? You could lose weight easily.
Man, 25. That's terrifying.
Dude, I just turned 40 last year, bro. Don't tell me about 25 is terrifying. Get the fuck out of here with. I'm 25. It's terrifying. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm old as fuck. But as far as for this year, you mentioned doing a little bit of traveling. What's 2023 looking like for PWA and you guys over there?
It's super exciting. 2023 is kind of like obviously the last few years have been it's been a lot, obviously with COVID, everything like that. And then like after COVID was like quite a bit of a struggle to sort of get back on the feet. It was pretty exciting and a lot of cool stuff happened. But I think now it's kind of like we're ready to put in the work and we're ready to really go hard. And I think we're just trying to like adjust to the world and make sure we're doing all the right stuff, sort of get our foot forward in the year. We've got some really cool stuff coming. Obviously, the show 27th back at Liberty Hall, which is a godsend for 2023. Who would have thought? Be back up and running.
I'm spewing. I'm missing that. I have to miss that show, dude. I'm literally kicking my fucking self about it.
It is like I just take myself back to like the first when we did our first show there. Like I remember walking in and just being like, this is it, because like we'd only really done RSL and stuff like that before. And it was just like there was a feeling, and then we just kept doing shows there, and the Coliseum that year was just unmatched. Like I don't think we'll ever. I think we'll hit a high like that again. We haven't yet. Like Roundhouse was amazing. Something about that Coliseum was just special, like real special. And so we're hoping to get back to that. Hoping to get back to pushing things and just keep the wrestling sort of.
How did you feel going from like, obviously wrestling in smaller venues to then obviously PWA growing to like Factory Theatre and Max Watts? Like walking in there for that first time, you're like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Do you like, it kind of sounds like how PWA operates. And I commend this because I think it's great is taking a gamble on yourself is like, we will succeed with this, and this is what we're going to do. The people will come. And I think that that's what we've seen with PWA, is taking a gamble and getting the results in that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is that it always felt right. Like every time we did something, it always felt like the necessary thing to do. Like we would always take those gambles and like, this is the gamble we need to do right now. Some of them paid off, some of them didn't, but we're pretty, obviously pretty happy, and that most of them, for the most part, have paid off, and we had made some great memories. It's great stuff. But yeah, it was all just the natural progression, and every time we finish the show, we think, the next one's there. Let's sell that one out. And that's kind of the fun thing about PWA, is how much it's like that. Like, it's like, ready for a show, let's get all the promos, get all this stuff done. That show ends the Sunday after or the Monday after, we're back to creating the next show. And it just sort of doesn't stop. And it does sort of, at times, it sort of can get lost in it throughout the year. But also, I kind of like that. It kind of makes it harder. It's much harder to stop and then start again.
How did you find like, as far as, going and starting to, do these bigger venues, you take a gamble on yourself. And I think that that's the only way that you're really able to succeed. But like, for yourself, last year we saw the LFG tour. Was there any time for you guys to stop and smell the roses for that? Because it just feels like there was show after show after show, and it was such an amazing tour that you guys did with some amazing shows with great performers. Yeah. Was there time for you guys to stop and smell the roses in between that and go, holy shit, look what we're doing?
For me, it really didn't come to like after. Like sitting back afterwards, I was able to reflect, because I actually I had a 6-week stint. That's the word. Stint. Why did I say spin? Stint in Spain for Love Island. So I was in Spain for 6 weeks, working probably the hardest I've ever worked. Like, it was tough. Yeah, I did a lot of things there, and it was awesome. Lovely downtime, but a lot of hard work. And then I flew back on Friday. No, I flew back on Thursday, got home at 5 a.m. on Thursday, and then Cherries All That was the Friday night. And then the week after that, we did Coliseum. And the week after that, we did Queensland. And then I'm pretty sure there was a Newcastle show. Yeah, PWX Newcastle. Yeah. And the week after that was Roundhouse. So it was just we were just going. It was just a never stopping train. And we was just getting stuff done, getting those ticket sales, trying to do as much as we can, trying to do everything we can, trying to just think about new ways to get stuff done and sort of get stuff, and new ways to sell tickets, new ways to make things entertaining for people, and new way to draw new customers, which is what we're always trying to do for PWA and the wrestling business. So it was fun and like super rewarding. Roundhouse was amazing.
How do you find like drawing new audience members in? Like, what is it, do you think, about PWA that gets the people in? Is it the performers? Is it the promos? Is it the packages? Or is it the whole package together?
It is like the whole package together. It's like a whole thing of like community and ideas, and giving people and creatively a place for them to have their ideas, and then like really, really explore them and push them. And then also, like, I think the one of the biggest things to assess is like the monologue and the conversations we get to have within ourselves. Yeah. We have a really cool community at PWA, and we're able to just, have conversations and throw things at the wall and see what sticks. And I'm a big proponent of, like, when it comes to social media and content, stuff like that, of just like, why don't, like, just let's try something new, Let's always constantly try something new. Like let's not, those wrestling promos are necessary and they have a great spot, but let's try something else. Let's try reels. Let's try making reels for the interest of making reels, like for the purpose of making reels. Let's try doing all these mediums that are coming, because the world right now, it's going fast, and
moving keep fast.
Up. It's moving fast, and
TikTok.
PWA is like as much as a wrestling company, it's becoming a media company, because we're doing a lot of that social media, a lot of content. So we're really trying to, stay on top of that and be trying new things all the time and getting stuff together. What do we got here?
So Facebook user says, Jax, you're a good looking rooster. Facebook user, head over and start tuning in on YouTube because we're ending on Facebook in 5 minutes.
I know Facebook user is a good friend.
There you go. Yeah. Check us out on YouTube. But you know, what is it that for you are you most looking forward to for this year? Like, what is it that has got you excited to be involved in pro
Oh man, there's so much going on. Like recently, actually, where I've been working with wrestler merch. So my partner Sam, she's amazing and she runs wrestler merch, and it's so perfect. And this year, I've started to do a bit more work with her, trying to get some content, trying to get some cool new stuff coming along. But that's just so cool. And working with her, working on that, getting that up, is really fun, and going to be really exciting. So hopefully everyone keeps an eye out for that because wrestling merch really ramping up. But then obviously PWA getting that all up and trying to get new eyes, trying to get bigger, trying to go bigger and better. Obviously Liberty Hall is amazing to be back there, but we always want to outgrow everything we do. So hopefully this year is the year we can push that along and outgrow ourselves in everything.
What's the next step from like going from a Liberty Hall to like what's the next step venue? Is it like a small stadium? Like
what if you stand at the front of Liberty Hall and you have a little look, you look across the road, there's a pretty nice venue there. It's a pretty big dream venue, the old Horden Pavilion. But I guess it's just keeping fresh, you know. Liberty Hall is going to be a really cool place for us to sort of get back in our groove, and sort of get back, you know, get really back into getting that what's the word they always use? Momentum. Getting that momentum back, getting some momentum behind us, getting that. And then, you know, honestly, and like if you had asked me at the start of last year, what's next, I wouldn't have told you we would have done the Metro. I wouldn't have told you we would have done the Roundhouse. Like I couldn't have told you any of those things. So honestly, I probably like Coliseum in Melbourne. I wouldn't have told you we'd do any of that. So it's one of those like crazy things where I can't even tell you what's next because I've got no idea.
Coliseum was a wild couple of shows, man. And as far as from your perspective, how was it? Because like, I understand you were working with MCW. Like, did they have their production crew involved? Was it solely you guys? Like, where did it all work?
It was like we all worked together. It was a nice, like generally, obvious. Like the first show was sort of more us. Second show was sort of more them. But we definitely got the best of both. You got the best of both companies on those 2 days, and that was always really fun. And just the ability to do something like that was just so like fun, and it felt really good to do, to just sort of like do something that's never been done before, and really explore that. And I think it went incredibly, especially like afterwards we sit back, we're like, wow, like that all happened. Like that's a pretty crazy thing we just did. So it was really good, and good people down there. Doing good stuff. So us working together was really cool, and Coliseum went off. It was really cool. It was great. Robbie at the end with the sword was like with all the COVID stuff, I sort of forgot what it felt like to sort of have those moments like that. And you know,
This COVID, I feel like really put a halt on a lot of stuff, and even Coliseum, which was like I think before last year, the Coliseum before that was like 2019.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 2019.
That's insane. Like, do you feel like Coliseum now could be like that annual show which you could take on tour for 2 days to, like, I don't know, like I'm throwing this out there, Queensland, for example, this year, or Tasmania, you know what I mean? Like throwing things out there. Do you think that's a possibility?
Dude, like it could be, anything could happen. It could be anywhere. And that was always really exciting about making that leap and going to Melbourne was that, it could be anywhere. And it could be anything. Like Coliseum is like one of those fun things where obviously it's that great tournament that we do. And there's a lot of things that we know is going to happen at the Coliseum, but also there's a lot that we can still bring to the table. And I think that's what's so exciting about it is that it'll be fresh. Every year it'll be fresh. There'll be something new, something going on. And it's just always going to be.
Robbo Entertainment says that Wahlberg guy won in 2019. I wonder what he's doing now. I wonder. I wonder.
What a guy! What a
But
guy!
let me ask you this: do you think that it's possible for PWA or even like an Australian wrestling company or even an independent wrestling promotion to run a weekly like a weekly show? Whether it's fight streamed or whatever, but like I'm saying, is it possible for you to do it?
I think
Or is
so.
it,
I think the really tough thing is that for people to do stuff that had never been done in wrestling, they have to do it a new way. You have to change the way you do stuff. Though obviously, there's been things in Australia that have had a television show, probably not weekly, but they have had a television show,
yeah.
and they just sort of packaged it as a wrestling show, like other wrestling shows that are on TV are like, right? And I think
Mm,
that um, to break the seal, and I think it's definitely possible, but I think you will just have to sort of budge on exactly what it is you're giving, and you're gonna have to bring some extra spice to it and really change up how you do a wrestling show. Because I think that's what's interesting about PWA is that we run wrestling shows very regularly. We really try to push the boundaries of professional wrestling and give you a bit of everything, and try to make them an entertainment. People come in and they get a whole night of entertainment, whether it's a band or whether it's like a fire breather, like a fire dance and stuff like that.
mm.
We really try to be elemented, and I think if wrestling in this country really wants to take the next step and do that, it's definitely possible. I just think it's going to take some wacky, unconventional sort of stuff to get it there, and
Yeah.
also and
Well, I think as well, I agree with you on that. It's like to do something different in pro wrestling is very, very hard to
yeah,
do for a lot of
yeah,
people, right? And I think,
absolutely,
to do something fresh and unique, and I think as well, like pro wrestling, it's like people need to look at it as less of like the in-ring wrestling side of things and look at it as an entertainment
yeah,
package of what it actually is. Because as I've said many times before, wrestling is to get that emotion out of you, whether it's happiness, sadness, anger, like whatever it may be. That's what wrestling is to draw emotion from the audience. I think if you can do that, absolutely. Like we could see a
100%.
weekly television show.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Um, Definitely, we definitely, like, I think I sort of strive to go after not even casual wrestling fans. I just want people that probably wouldn't even really think about wrestling to come on a Friday night, bring their mates, have a few drinks at a Black Label show, get drunk, and watch this beautiful art form that is professional wrestling. And
Mm.
hopefully, we can give you some great fun times, tell some amazing stories, and you can get hooked. That's who I'm really trying to reach for, because once, like, yeah,
Well, I think they're easier to get them hooked on your product because it's like when you have like wrestling fans that are like, blinders for WWE, blinders for AEW, then they go, "Oh, you want to come see an Australian wrestling show? Nah, I'll just rather watch Dynamite and
100%,
Raw or something like that." But if you get people that are just like, "Oh yeah, we're going out for a night out, have a few
yeah,
beers, have some dinner. Oh shit, there's a wrestling show on. Let's go check that shit out."
yeah,
And I've said before, I've taken friends to a PWA show that aren't wrestling fans, not haters, just not don't watch it.
yeah.
And at the end of it, they walk out, they love it.
100%. Yeah, I think like PWA wrestling has like a really like an amazing retention rate, and once we get you in the door, that's a tough part. Getting people in that door, that's the hardest part. And then once they come, especially to like a PWA show, like I think it was a bit tougher when we were doing like RSL and stuff like that. And I understand like that was obviously we all did that, and it was
Mm.
obviously the necessary thing to do at the time to sort of get ourselves going and get stuff going. But moving to these like music venues and bringing in the music aspects that we have been doing with bands, stuff like that, um, you cannot beat an atmosphere. Like
Do you think
once
we
you
could
create
see
an
more
atmosphere,
like live bands involved? Like, could you have? I don't know how hard the logistics of this would be,
yeah.
but like live musicians playing entrance music while
Oh,
wrestlers are going to the
absolutely,
ring.
absolutely. I think you can start seeing music shows that have wrestling rather than wrestling shows with music. We did it like with Private Function. Peter Way was lucky enough to be almost an opening act for Private Function, and it was amazing. It was like atmosphere wise, it was down at the Forum in Melbourne, and the atmosphere. I've like never had anything like that in wrestling, and the atmosphere was just
I saw the photos. That was
off the
ridiculous.
chains.
That was
It
ridiculous.
was. There's videos of me, and I'm like next to the ring, and I'm just like smile ear to ear, just going like, "This is crazy." It was just so loud and crazy. I'm just make sure I haven't missed any comments. People asking stuff. That cool. It was just real crazy, man. Like the atmosphere was insane, and that was where it was kind of like, oh man, this hybrid like wrestling at a music show, it works, and it's exciting, and it's a really cool like another thing we can do.
And
I definitely like.
And I think most music fans that go to concerts are probably going to be more open to something like that than like someone at a local RSL club going, "Hey, would you like to come watch wrestling?" Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? But the
100%,
musicians will
man.
be like, "Oh," like music fans that go to gigs are going to be like, "Oh yeah, let's check this shit out." Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's I think I just really want to like push and test the limits of professional wrestling, because there's just a lot of professional wrestling shows, and they're all kind of like they do the same format, stuff like that. And I think it's really important that to really progress, you have to push that stuff. And like we had like a 30-minute set with Towns. They essentially played an entire concert in the middle of our show at the Roundhouse. Like they had like it was that was awesome.
Those guys were
And
sick.
we oh Towns was so cool. They were the coolest ever. And it was just like to have them and how cool and how excited they were to be at our show. Man, it was super awesome. And I think just finding hybrids from everything, like entertainment. Just bring all entertainment together and just see what works. And just try stuff.
What are you like? What's been one of your favorite video packages that you've put together that you really sort of set back and go, you know what, I really enjoy this. I'm really proud of this work.
Probably one of my favorites was I did a hype video for the ladder match, the triple threat ladder match. Mick, Lucci, and
Unsocial
Jordan. Oh, poor guy. He's gonna hate me.
I had to sit there for a second too. I'm like,
he's gonna hate me so much. Anyways, no, that was sick. That was so good. That was probably my like favorite work I've ever done. It was just because the story was so good. And it was just, it didn't mean to be. It was a crazy last minute. Ricky got injured, all that kind of stuff. But it was just sort of like the way it was told and just like the way it all panned out and just putting those pieces in. It was really, really something special to make. I'm trying to think. My earliest ones were really special to me because obviously they were like the first time I sort of like, oh, this is really cool. Like the star, when we did the star with Progress, I made one for like Tony Storm and Jess Troy. And that was my first one. I remember like showing people on my phone, oh, look at this thing I made. And just like, oh, they were like, that's sick. And I was kind of like, oh, this is like, that was like my first introduction to sort of doing hype videos. But now I just sort of, one of my other favorite ones was Ricky and Ugg.
That was cool. That was cool. I have to give you
the one that no one ever saw.
Well, here we go.
The one that no one ever saw was a good one because obviously COVID happened and that show was supposed to be that weekend. And I made a hype video ready to go, and the world shut down the day we were going to release it. Oh. So there's like a hype video there that's like never been released. And I don't know, it might come out one day, but like I think
for Ugg and Ricky?
For Ugg and Ricky the first time.
Wow.
So
I want to.
Yeah, right.
Can you send this? Can I see this after the show, please? Like now, I'm really the fact that you're sitting there like this, drooling about this one. Like,
it might pop up somewhere.
There you go, man. But it's interesting because, like, I feel like, you mentioned, the ladder match as well. And I think PWA in the last 12 months, storytelling wise, amazing. Like storylines and stuff like that. The stuff that we saw with, Ricky's heel turn, but then also like the SMS thing with Carter Deems, like all these little motherfuck moments that you watch in wrestling that to me always got me hooked in wrestling, where I was just like, oh damn it, now I have to know what's going on.
What was crazy was just like, it was honestly, they were just so tough. It was such a tough time because there would always be something going on. Ricky obviously injuring his neck, putting him out, the world champion, just random thing popping up. Someone someone, you know, getting sick before a show, missing a show. There was always these things where we had plans and they always went out the window. And somehow, obviously, we were just able to adapt, and, you know, get back on the right track. And it just so happened that, yeah, we adapted obviously the right way, and it was able to pull stuff off in the end. Like the triple threat ladder match obviously came together because of Ricky injuring himself, and it ended up just bringing together a really great match and told a really cool story. So yeah, but like definitely there was a lot of effort there. The people that put those things together are really talented, and they can really get through it. And obviously just the talent that are obviously telling those stories in the ring, really spending a lot of time to really fine tune things. Like there's a lot of promos, a lot of the promos you see, a lot of the ones you see where I've just got a camera, like I'm shooting them, and they're 90 seconds and they tell all the story beats you need. Those took 2 hours to get because we'd shoot it and we'd say, I think we can get it better. We'd shoot it, I think I can get it better. And it would just be that dedication to just getting it perfect, and then it going out. And honestly, those things weren't masterpieces of lighting and production and cuts and everything. They were literally just me holding the camera, but it was just like getting those beats and getting everything perfect, and also keeping it quite short, because my attention span, I have attention span of a squirrel. Most people do these days. So you got to keep those things short. And getting them in a digestible package took a lot of effort, and I'm just sort of there throwing stuff off them, but it's really their talent that
does
people
it ever
like
get does it ever get frustrating though, like when it does, like you see a 90-second clip that takes 2 hours to make? Does it get frustrating for you at the point of recording, creating at any stage?
I guess sometimes, like it can get frustrating when you just can't get it. But generally it will all come together in the end. Like it just has a way of doing it. And sometimes like hype videos, I could probably show you hype videos that I've made where I've gone through like 4 different, like I'll put all the pieces together and then I realize, oh, it's not right. And I'll take those pieces and I'll completely start it over. And I'll do that like 4 or 5 times. Right, it's tough. It's just putting them in the right spots and telling the story the right way, and sort of premeditating things and having things come out that you don't remember or you didn't expect, and just telling the story in that way. It's really tough. And then I send it to someone and they give me feedback, and then we go through the process again. It's all just like this group effort of like trying to make things work and telling stories, but it's super rewarding when things like the Ricky turn and things like that happen, and you see those moments finally pay off. Like Cherry and Jimmy Townsend at the Roundhouse with the roll-up spot, and just Jess and Liva Lucci, probably my favorite match of the year. That was awesome. And then Ricky and Mick, like you get those moments where it's like, I'll tell you the one moment that I got to sat back and really enjoy life was Mick's entrance at the Roundhouse with the fire dancer.
Yeah.
If you weren't completely enthralled in the fire dancer, we turned around to us at the desk. We were cheering and in tears and hugging. It was just like that perfect storm of sort of everything happening. The camera work was perfect. The sound, it looked awesome, obviously. And that was sort of one of those times I was like, I remember how this feels, and I hope everyone else is feeling sort of the magic and the hype that I'm feeling. And then
I really enjoyed Ricky's entrance to that show. I thought that was spectacular.
Yeah, dude.
Like that was just like, I felt like both entrances that the guys did really suited their characters as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just,
yeah, man,
it pulled it off well. Like you couldn't give those entrances to anyone else and it wouldn't work. But like it's those two, perfect.
Just brings like that array of like a perfect storm, like things like that, like main events at Roundhouse when that came together. I was like, you know what? And the match graphics, I remember the match graphics, I made them all like, they were all like facing each other.
Yeah.
You probably didn't notice that much, but man, it's one of those cool things that I really want to put effort into to really make it stand out from the rest of the shows, and also just do something fresh and new and exciting and new eyes.
Well, that's the thing is like as far as changing it up though, like with those graphics, with those like video packages, well, you have to because otherwise people get a little bit. They go, oh yeah, it's just another video from PWA, or it's just another
Yeah,
image from this. You know what I mean? So when it grabs their attention and they go, oh shit, like if you see something like it's completely different to what it
yeah,
is, that's what you're going to click on, want to check out.
100%, 100%.
And I think like for the majority of it, like I think that show with at the Roundhouse, those spectacular entrances as well, you're probably going to have a lot of the PWA roster going, hey, Jax, you think I can get maybe like someone to come out with a water gun or something? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of something funny to say, but yeah,
Right.
like, do you think now there's
Absolutely.
going to be an expectation other guys and girls want to have like spectacular entrances?
Oh, 100%. And it's one of those things, like, it's those really cool, in wrestling, you get to see progressions of these people. Like, especially, like, Jimmy Townsend's one that obviously I saw, like, I've been around since he debuted, seeing, like, Grayson Waller, since his first match I saw, Ricky South, seeing this progression of these people and knowing that, like, if they stay on their path and they do what they're doing, they're probably going to be main eventing our big shows and having those big crazy entrances. Like last year, like when you like big year for Lyra Lucci, we got to see he had a cool entrance in a steel cage match. Really cool, and it's really that fun of like getting that mix of sort of main events and people and I guess that sort of brings me to like next week we got Ben Braxton versus Ricky South for the PWA heavyweight title. Ben Braxton, a pretty unknown performer in PWA, really. Like, obviously, we know, we've seen him, we see what he does, but he's always kind of been, in six-mans or scrambles or tag mates, stuff like that. We haven't really seen him in this kind of light. So I'm really excited to see him sort of progress and show him in a new light and see what he can do with someone like Ricky.
I think as well putting someone else in that main event spot as well, and while putting someone in there who might not be as well known, you're putting someone in there, which I've seen Ben Braxton wrestle the last couple of years, and every time this guy goes out there, he impresses the hell out of me. Looks good, Absolutely. Has an athletic look, good gimmick, and just goes out there and just tears the house down. I don't think I've seen a bad match of his. So I'm excited for the match.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see him show up. And he couldn't do it against anyone. Sometimes he does some questionable things, the old Ricky South, but I don't think you get much better in this country. I don't think you get much better bell to bell in this country.
Oh, absolutely. Robbo says Braxton really suits the whole GTA-inspired theme of the show as well.
I'm excited. That was my idea. The GTA theme was my idea. I'm so happy about that.
What, like, how do the themes of the shows come up with? Like, do you sit around and like just power ideas out, or is it your decision?
Honestly, it's usually like there's a lot of time, like each one's so unique. Very much usually it like something will sort of guide us to it, and we'll be like, oh, that's obviously what the next one is, or there'll be something happens. It's like, oh, of course, like Terry's all that, of course, all that kind of stuff. But then usually, I'll tell you a little secret, but usually it's like the week of we're like, fuck. what are we
doing? What name hasn't been used? Ah, damn it, Vince used WrestleMania. Damn it.
But no, honestly, like, yeah. there's usually like quite a lot of. It usually can be either spontaneous or it can be like obviously a lot of thought into it. But it's just it is a really 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 important aspect of the show, I think, to make sure that the names are fun, make sure they represent the show, make sure they represent the time, make sure they represent everything, and they're really important. They add a really nice sort of atmosphere to the event, and they add something different, and they add sort of like I think nostalgia right now is massive. Like as Robbo just said, the nostalgia hit me. I really think like I'm saying now that nostalgia is like probably always has been, but it's like a massive seller. So if we can tap into like nostalgia and that kind of stuff through our show stuff, and then make it sort of make sense with the rest of the storylines going on, and making it make sense with the match card, it's really exciting. And yeah, sometimes we just like to have fun and play around.
Jax, I've never asked you for a favor before, but I'm gonna ask for one now. Ooh. Can we please have a Street Fighter 2 theme show? Because that would be sick. Champion edition.
I never played Street Fighter.
I
I'm gonna break your heart there,
15,
bro.
Yeah, I'm like,
no.
It's all right. Just tell me my age. Next thing you know, tell me you've never heard of Golden Axe.
But I'm sure that a lot of names that you know about will become names because the guy who's making most of the decisions. Did I just call him old? I did, didn't I?
You did. You just called him old. There you go. If you think he's old, then far out, man. How old do you think I am? Jeez. But man, as we start wrapping up here, man, like,
wow,
that's cool. I know it's been almost an hour, bro. But what is it that has got you excited for this year, and what is it that all the fans need to come and check out PWA for?
Oh man, what's got me excited is the community. Man, just the people I'm around. Going to training a lot. Been having a lot of been hanging out with the PWA sort of people in the community, and just realizing that sort of everyone's on their own path and everyone's really excited to go. I'm really excited for wrestler merch this year. Just to keep supporting the Australian industry and really support everyone. We're trying to get some cool new stuff going there. That should be really, really fun. And just sort of attacking pro wrestling at all sides and really just helping the industry in this country grow and really just trying to get the light on the coolest people ever that are in this community that I call Australian wrestling and the community I call PWA. Great performers, great people. Just ready to give everything they got. And this year we're trying to give it all we got. And obviously there's New Japan Tamashi's coming out. We got PWA. We got tons of stuff coming up, and it's going to be a really, really crazy year.
That's it, man. And also massive shout out to Wrestler Merch as well, man. They're doing amazing things there. And, I'm the first podcaster, I think, on Wrestler Merch. So there you go, guys. Make sure you go check out my store there.
Absolutely, definitely.
Check it out. But, Jax, look, I appreciate you coming on, man. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Oh, man. I'm Video Boy Jax everywhere. I don't post much. I don't do much. Just go straight over to PWA. At PWA Australia on Twitter, I think. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, PWA Australia. Look up PWA Black Label, it'll come up. Or Pro Wrestling Australia, it'll come up. I'm really bad with stuff like that. My brain's fried. But they're the place where most of my work is done. Most of the work is put out there. And just keep on keeping on, keep supporting Australian wrestling. It all turns. And I hope I see everyone at the show or see everyone tune in, or I hope everyone enjoys the stuff I make this year and I can connect some people.
That's it, man. And I end every interview now with this one question. And it is, what is one question I didn't ask you in this interview that you wish that I did? And how would you have answered it?
Oh, man. That's tough. You got me there. That's a good one.
Make Ricky fight a car.
What did it say?
It said, make Ricky fight a car.
Oh man, that question's got me. That's a great question though. It's really good. It's really good because your brain goes through some crazy stuff. It went from egotistical of I wanted you to say something that would shine me up, maybe, and then I was like, no, that's egotistical, and then I went down and be oh man.
But that's what my job is. My whole time when I interview people is to build them up, though, right?
Yeah,
so I can't feel I can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you do it great. I think you asked all the right questions. You've left none.
There you go. Put me over.
Perfect interview. It was a perfect interview.
I appreciate it, man. All right, guys, we'll catch you again very, very soon. Take care, Jax. Again, I appreciate you, man. Peace.
Cheers.